The best computer speaker of 2022. The first thing to keep in mind when you're shopping for computer speakers is what you're going to be using them for. Most speakers will work fine for Zoom calls and YouTube videos. But if you're an audiophile or creative professional, you will require something more. If you're buying speakers for a gaming PC, there are a few extra factors to keep in mind. Directional audio is important, so you'll want speakers with a strong stereo image. We've got a specific pick for gaming speakers. But many of the other picks on this list will work, especially if they have a subwoofer. That said, not everyone needs a subwoofer, especially if you're only watching the occasional video. However, both gamers and music fans are sure to enjoy the enhanced bass frequencies that a subwoofer brings to the table. Size is also a major consideration with speakers. Those on the smaller size can fit anywhere, but won't always sound as good as larger speakers. Keep this in mind for subwoofers too, as they can range from relatively tiny to the size of a typical large subwoofer, depending on the speakers you choose. In general, if you want great audio, you'll want space on your desk for bigger computer speakers. Finally, you need to consider how you're going to plug your speakers in. Many speakers use a standard 3.5mm jack that plugs into either the headphone output or auxiliary output on your computer. That said, more and more speakers are turning toward using a single USB-A or USB-C cable to connect to your computer. If you'd rather connect wirelessly, Bluetooth is an increasingly popular option in computer speakers. We've got a recommendation for the best Bluetooth speakers. But many of the other speakers were looking at feature Bluetooth as well. Now that you've figured out what you're looking for, here are the best computer speakers you can buy. Looking at the Audioengine A2 Plus, you might mistake them for a larger set of speakers than they actually are, as they look like they belong in your home theater setup. Don't let the smaller size fool you. However, these speakers pack some serious sound quality, regardless of their physical size. The Audioengine A2 Plus speakers have a tiny footprint, with each speaker only measuring 6 x 4 x 5.25 inches. But they're more powerful than meets the eye. These speakers pack 60 watts of Class A/B power into 2.75-inch aramid fiber drivers and 0.75-inch silk dome tweeters. These speakers aim to bring the high-quality audio Audioengine's larger speakers are known for into a smaller format. And they achieve impressive results. Even the bass is impressive for the size. Though if you feel like you need more, you can easily pair these with the Audioengine S6 subwoofer. No matter how you want to connect the Audioengine A2 Plus speakers to your computer, you can probably do it. In addition to a digital USB connection, you can connect analog audio via the 3.5mm input jack or via the RCA inputs on the back of the speaker. If you'd rather connect digitally, you can opt for Bluetooth, with the aptX codec ensuring high-quality sound. You can also opt to plug your speakers into your computer and use Bluetooth to stream music from your phone when you want to kick back and relax. The Audioengine A2 Plus comes in the standard black finish. But if you prefer more color, it's also available in red and white varieties. With great sound quality, a small footprint, and extended range Bluetooth, the Audioengine A2 Plus speakers bring awesome sound quality without taking over your desk in the process. If you're just plugging in your laptop at your desk, or you just prefer a minimalist desktop, the creative Pebble V3 is a great option. The fact that they also happen to be affordable is a nice bonus. These little wonders provide 8 watts of consistent RMS power, with a peak output of 16 watts. This power flows to the 2.25-inch driver in each speaker, which is larger than the V2. Combined with the power, Creative claims on its Amazon page that the Pebble V3 is twice as loud as the previous version. If you're going for a minimal setup, the easiest way to plug in the Creative Pebble V3 is USB-C. Don't worry if you've got an older PC or laptop though, as Creative has included a USB adapter to make sure that you can use these speakers, regardless of what kind of computer you have. Do you prefer a more traditional connection? No problem. You can plug the Pebble V3 in with an included 3.5mm speaker cable. If you prefer not to use wires at all, you can also connect via Bluetooth 5. The Pebble speakers use a unique 45-degree elevated driver. This helps get the sound from the tiny speakers more directly to your ears, to make sure you're not missing any details from your YouTube videos. The Pebble V3 also includes clear dialogue audio processing, to make sure that voices come through loud and clear. Again, we're looking at the standard black model here. which is the more common version. If you'd rather your speakers stick out, you can also opt for the white version. The Pebble V3 is the best version of Creative's popular speaker yet. With more volume, more connectivity options, and processing that makes hearing voices in videos easier. If you live for music, most plain old computer speakers aren't going to cut it. Sure, they'll let you hear the music, but you certainly won't hear it at its best. The Fluence i41 speakers, on the other hand, take the convenience of computer speakers and combine it with the sound and aesthetic of bookshelf speakers. Unlike most of the speakers we're looking at, these are full-size, with the dual internal Class D amplifiers pushing 45 watts of power per speaker into the 5-inch glass fiber composite drivers. The speakers use a pair of neodymium silk dome tweeters for clean, airy-sounding highs. The speakers sit inside MDF cabinets that are internally braced to prevent unwanted vibration that can interfere with the sound. While these speakers include a connection for a subwoofer, you might not need it. The Fluence i41 speakers have rear bass ports for enhanced low end, and they work quite well. For connectivity, you've got multiple options, though you won't find a 3.5-inch jack for a standard computer plug-in. Instead, you'll need a 3.5mm to RCA adapter to plug into the RCA inputs on the rear of the speaker. Alternately, you use the optical TOSLINK digital input to connect to your computer. Unlike the larger i61 model, the i41 doesn't feature USB connectivity, but they do feature Bluetooth 5. This isn't going to give you quite the same audio fidelity as either of the physical connections will. That said, it's still nice to have it if you or a friend wants to play a few songs from a streaming music service. We're looking at the black ash option here, but the Fluence i41 is also available in lucky bamboo, natural walnut, and white walnut finish options. Looking to listen to music on your computer but not willing to compromise on sound? Fluence's i41 will give you the audio you want. Gaming PCs and even gaming laptops are a special breed of computer. Not just meant to be as fast as possible, but to look as impressive as possible at the same time. Razer is a name synonymous with PC gaming, and it's clear that gaming PCs are the inspiration for the over-the-top Razer Nomo Pro. This package consists of 2 stereo speakers, each with a woofer on the bottom and a tweeter on top, plus a cylindrical subwoofer. This subwoofer looks more like older Mac Pro models than most subwoofers we've seen, but the LED illumination clearly marks it as a gaming accessory. The Razer Nomo Pro is THX certified, basically saying that regardless of looks, these speakers are capable of providing some serious sound. Another audio plus for gamers is the inclusion of Dolby Virtual surround sound technology, which should make hearing where the action is in a given game all that much easier. The sound from these speakers is impressive, with Amazon reviews praising the effectiveness of the subwoofer and the overall sound quality. Even better, the Nomo Pro ships with an LED illuminated control pod, letting you easily adjust the volume or even mute the speakers entirely in case you need to quiet down in a hurry. Connectivity options here are plentiful, with USB and optical connections on the digital side, and a 3.5mm audio jack on the analog side. Of course, if you prefer to run wireless, Bluetooth connectivity is available, but you might want to save this for streaming music, as the other options will have lower latency, which is important for gaming. The major downside of the Razer Nomo Pro is that this is an expensive package, even for gaming-specific speakers. If you like the idea but don't want to spend as much, the Razer Nomo Chroma is a similar package minus the subwoofer but with similar LED lighting. Both even sync with Razer Synapse to integrate with your other Razer peripherals. The Razer Nomo Pro might be pricey, but if you're a devotee of the brand, the lighting and ability to sync up with your other Razer devices is more than worth it. If you're not a fan of wires and you're just looking for a simple speaker system to use with your computer, the Logitech Z407 Bluetooth computer speakers are a fantastic option. These aren't packed with bells and whistles, but they're a modernized take on the classic computer speaker. This is a 2.1-channel speaker system with 2 stereo speakers and an included subwoofer. All of these together are capable of 40 watts of constant power, with a peak output of 80 watts. The bass frequencies get 20 watts, with digital signal processing and the subwoofer working together for the massive low end. Similar to the Razer Nomo speakers, the Logitech Z407 uses a hockey puck-shaped dial to control various aspects of the speakers. Though this dial is wireless, You can press and spin this dial to pause and resume playback. Adjust volume, and adjust other aspects of the sound from as far as 65 feet away. One nice feature of the dial is the ability to adjust the bass independently of the rest of the sound. This is handy if you've got roommates or live with family, as bass frequencies carry the most, and you don't want to wake up to a house full of people at night. Logitech made an interesting choice with the main speakers in the Z407 in that they're dual position. You can alternate between vertical and horizontal orientation, which makes it easier to fit them on nearly any sort of desk. Finally, the Z407 gives you plenty of options for connectivity, with a 3.5mm jack being the sole analog option. For digital connections, you can choose between micro USB or Bluetooth connections. Logitech's Z407 offers a complete 2.1-channel system with a unique wireless dial control, letting you take full advantage of its Bluetooth connectivity. When shopping for computer or PC speakers, you'll notice you're either dealing with peripheral companies like Logitech making speakers, or speaker companies like Audioengine, Fluence, or Klipsch making speakers. The nicest aspect of the Klipsch Pro Media 2.1 is that it feels like the best of both worlds. Klipsch doesn't pull any punches on the Amazon listing for the Pro Media 2.1. Boasting of 200 watts of max power output capable of volumes up to 110 decibels, a typical rock concert runs between 90 and 120 decibels. By comparison, like the Razer Nomo Pro, these are THX certified. The satellite speakers pair 3-inch mid-range woofers with pay dome tweeters. The subwoofer, on the other hand, is a compact, 6.5-inch side-firing model, capable of bringing the bass without taking up any more of your room than it needs to. While these are meant as computer speakers, Klipsch is quick to mention that you can use them for other purposes. The Pro Media 2.1 will also work with your TV or even as a system just to play music from your phone, instead of the puck-style controller that some of the other speakers were looking at use. The Klipsch Pro Media 2.1 speakers place the detachable control pod on one of the speakers. You get a knob for overall volume, as well as a dedicated volume for the subwoofer, letting you easily use it when you need it and fade it out when you don't. There aren't a ton of connectivity options here, just a plain wired connection to your computer. That said, this simplicity keeps things simple and helps bring the price down. By opting for a side-firing subwoofer, the Klipsch Pro Media 2.1 offers a full-sounding 2.1-channel computer speaker system that isn't going to take up too much space. Text source: howtogeek.com